Okay, so I was sent this, and as you see, with this type of article, this type of situation, there's some good, there's some bad, and there's some hope. Okay? Because the rumor is that, from a very credible source, I'm hearing that GTA 6 will only be 30 frames per second at launch. Okay? So that's the bad. The good is that it's rumored to have a 60 frames per second mode that will come later. And the hope is that the 60 frames per second is really real. Okay? So it's rumored to offer 60 frames per second on PS5 and Xbox Series X, but not at launch. So the hope is that it's going to come later. The fact that this is all rumor, but it's said to come from a credible source. So what are we going to do here? Check out this article. One of the reasons Grand Theft Auto 6 fans are eager to learn the currently missing details on the PS5 Pro enhancement is that the most powerful console available on the market is expected to include a performance mode targeting 60 frames per second. However, according to a credible source, there's a decent chance that even the base PS5 and Microsoft's roughly equivalent Xbox Series X will support 60 frames per second in Rockstar's massively anticipated game. The rumor comes from the popular Polish gaming podcast Rock and Boris, which features Rock and Boris. I can't pronounce these names. It is the latter who shared in a new episode that he heard work is being done to offer a 60 frames per second option, though it isn't guaranteed to be available at launch. The Xbox Series X is predictably targeting 30 frames per second, though Boris did not entirely rule out the possibility, however far-fetched, that even this version might offer a higher performance option. Here's the relevant quote from Boris. But ladies and gentlemen, if you remember our previous episode, we mentioned that on the Polish media market website, the description for GTA 6 included information stating that the PS5 and Xbox Series X would have a choice between a performance mode and a quality mode. And I've now received new information from a source close to Rockstar, but I want to stress that this is a single source, though a very credible one. So based on the information I received, there are supposed to be two graphics modes, 30 frames per second and 60 frames per second, on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. With Series S, for now, it's 30 frames per second. But from what I was told, they're working on it with a large team from Microsoft. So maybe there will be more options there too. Why hasn't Rockstar announced any of the modes yet? From what I've learned, they don't yet have 100% certainty whether 60 frames per second will actually be there at launch. I mean, there's a possibility for that. For example, it might arrive in a later patch. They're working on it, but as I was told, it most likely will be there at launch. It will most likely be there at launch. Though, it's still, there's some serious crunch happening. So we might get it by launch. Okay. As I said, this would be incredibly positive news for COD. Yeah, it would be. But I've historically always had to play new Rockstar games at 30 frames per second, which often dropped even lower in busy situations. Now, Boris clarifies that the information only came to him through a single source. That's all you need is one person that knows the truth to tell you the truth. That was redundant, but you know what I mean. And there's always a chance they're somehow mistaken. But for Boris himself, or Boris. Boris, though his status is already proven. He was the very first to reveal that CD Projekt Red was working on a new The Witcher 3 expansion with Fool's Theory. Okay, so he was right. From a technical standpoint, this would be an incredible feat to accomplish for Rockstar. Okay, well, after reading this makes me feel happier. It's more positive than negative. So, yeah. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you all think. If you enjoyed my thoughts on this, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Here's to 60 frames per second at launch. 10 million subscribers. Woo!